In this video, my first custom commission takes a turn for the worst as I make a mistake you will be shaking your head at. And it's a mistake that I can't fix. Throughout this video, I'm going to be trying something a little different. It's story time, but I won't be talking all of the time. I've kept in some of the shop sounds, so I will pause throughout the video just so you can enjoy the sounds of woodworking. In the height of the 2024-25 summer in the land down under, I booked my first custom client for the year. It was for a simple white oak desk which, due to the restrictions on our timber milling industry, is cheaper than many of our domestic hardwoods. I worked out what I thought was a good price and my client was happy to accept. We will get to this calculation soon, so just keep that in mind. The first part of this build went swimmingly. I had purchased dressed all-round timber from my supplier. For my Northern Hemisphere friends, you would call this S4S. And went down to my local woodworking co-op to joint the edges and make sure my glue up would be seamless. Seamless it was, and I potted about in the summer heat completely unaware of what was brewing on the horizon. With the desktop sitting in clamps after 2 separate glue ups, I got to preparing the legs. The rest of the desktop glue up could wait. These legs were going to have a taller top compared to the bottom, which would give me a nice thick surface to connect the drawers to later. I don't own a domino, and at this stage I didn't own a biscuit jointer, not that that was actually going to help here. Good old dowels, nothing beats that. I bet you're wondering about when this story takes a turn, and I assure you it's coming. For now though, drop me a comment with your favourite doweling jig, because I still don't have a domino. You'll often see me wearing my safety glasses when doing even minor tasks such as drilling small holes. And that's because one minor issue at work 7 years ago nearly cost me my eyesight in one eye, and led to me applying eye drops in an airplane bathroom. Our company was moving offices, and in case you weren't aware, I work behind a desk. We were taking apart our large desks ahead of the move, and I had slid under mine to take out some of the screws. While doing this, some sawdust dropped out of one of the screw holes directly into my right eye. My eye was irritated and I tried blinking it out, but this was a Friday afternoon and I was in no mood to head to the doctor's. Over the weekend, my eye gradually got worse, and come Monday morning, I couldn't really see out of it. My wife ended up driving me to the doctor's, who sent me straight to the local hospital so an ophthalmologist could take a look. Across the next hour or so, I had multiple radioactive strips and drops placed in my eye to detect any remaining sawdust, and then a check to see if the lens had been scratched. After several flushes with saline, I was given the all clear. although the doctor did warn me that leaving a foreign object in my eye for multiple days is an easy way to get an infection that causes severe damage. I was left having to apply an antibiotic ointment directly to my eyeball for a week, and applying eye drops in the toilet of an airplane on the flight to my honeymoon. Wear your eye protection, even if you think you don't need it. Safety squints won't protect you forever. In between completing the glue up of the desktop and it coming out of clamps, the weather changed. Even in the Australian summer we get rain, at least where I live. And high humidity, combined with thunderstorms in a garage with no insulation, led to the desktop cupping. I was right on the edge of the thickness the client wanted. So I contacted them, explained the situation, and they were happy to lose a little thickness on the top so it could be flattened. And then the base came together nicely. The back stretcher actually came off the top when I cut it to width, but this was my big financial mistake. You see, in my eagerness to land the client, I agreed on a price right on the edge of what I thought was profitable. But when putting together the quote, I absolutely forgot about the drawers and the drawer fronts. The additional white oak for the fronts and sides, the 3/4 inch ply for the front and back, the 1/2 inch oak ply for the bottom, and the drawer runners. All of that completely and stupidly overlooked. The big cost issue I had here was that I needed completely dressed timber. I didn't have the time to go down to the co-op to mill up rough sawn timber, and dressed timber costs an absolute arm and a leg. Without this cost factored in, combined with the cost of the finish, I was barely breaking even. However, all was not lost. At the end of the day, I am trying to make some money, and that is the purpose of taking on client work. If I didn't want to make money, I wouldn't take on commissions. I am in the fortunate position though of having a full-time job and my family is not dependent on woodworking. So I could cop this mistake on the chin and look at it both as a learning experience and at how to fix this in the future. This being the first commission of the year meant I was able to use the product images, which I am working at getting better on, for my social media and listings. And that led to a couple of other sales in which I was able to more accurately quote, while ensuring I built in a buffer should anything go wrong or I needed to purchase additional materials.
In retrospect, everyone blamed each other. But that's on the only English vessel.
Or maybe I should have just approached this like Bob Ross and acknowledged it as a happy little accident.